Hey there, YouTube. I'm just a dude with a uke, and today we're going to do something a little different here. I'm not going to do too much ukulele playing or singing. I am, as my last video I discussed, I am working on trying to learn to make music with other people more. I made contact with an old friend who's a guitar player and has written an original song, and we're trying to get together to do that and a cover together, so I'm pretty excited about that. I've also been working on harmonizing, learning how to harmonize with myself, which has been really fun. Um, Working through the video editor and recording multiple tracks. Unfortunately, I'm just not that good of a singer, as many of you already know. And finding the ability to harmonize with myself has been well, it's been hard on my voice, if I'm honest. So I'm not feeling like I'm at my best singing, which, gosh, honestly isn't saying much, but there it is. So today we're going to do something a little different. I wanted to do a geeky T-shirt expose. And this is also sort of the subject of this video. Say aloha to my little friend. And today I'm going to introduce you guys to, well, I think some of you have already seen, but I'm going to go into a little bit more detail about one of my favorite ukuleles, my homemade cigar box ukulele. I made this myself with pieces from CB Giddy and mainland ukuleles. I genuinely love this ukulele. It was an experiment, and it way exceeded any expectations I ever had about the way it would sound and the play. This honestly is a delightful instrument to play. It ended up with a great action, and it stays in tune, and it's got good intonation, and gosh, that's way more than I ever expected of it. I just thought it would be kind of a neat novelty item and fun to make, and it was all those things. And it's also the ukulele that I play the most in the morning when my wife and Liam are sleeping. I can grab this one, and it's because the thing about cigar box ukuleles is the materials are so thick that they don't project very well. So there you go. I don't typically name my ukuleles, but I guess we could call this one Don Thomas. I got the cigar box from a local cigar shop. We just went in and asked them if they had any hanging around, and this is one of the ones they gave me. Uh, I put my hole in I used the bottom of it as the face because it's this nice cedar board. And again, it is super thick plywood down here, so it does not resonate. Don't expect there to be a lot of great noises on it, um, but yeah, I just love this little ukulele. I'm going to go ahead and crack this open and kind of show you the inside of this. And so I'm going to stop recording here in a minute and then open this up. So the way I have the back lid held shut, you'll see with these little shiny corners that I got from CB Giddy, which look nice, but they also serve the function of holding this shut. So if I ever needed to get in here, I do have a pickup on this one, which comes through the button strap on the back, and it's got a little tuning knob or a volume knob on here, which if I had to do over again, I probably would have skipped. I don't think it does any good. It's a passive pickup on a very thick soundboard, so I always have to turn it all the way up anyway. So let's get into that. I'll open it up. I'll show you what I did on the inside, because I think where a lot of people go wrong when they make their own cigar box ukuleles is they don't take the time to brace everything. So let me open this up and I'll show you all about that. All right, I'll be back in a second. All right, and we're back. So let's look at how we've got this set up here. So every time I take these corners off, I get a little nervous that I'm going to strip something out, or they're not going to go back together. So I try not to do this very often, but here we go. Here's the magic inside my little cigar box ukulele. So pretty simple setup over here. So a couple things that I want to point out, and I think, on these cheap kits that people see, this is where you'll go wrong. So the box itself, all this stuff is actually, it's like a cardboard. It's like a super dense cardboard. And then we've got this cedar plywood on the bottom, right? So fundamentally, this box is not, while it's pretty strong and the ukulele strings aren't under a ton of tension. They are under tension. So in order to keep everything stable, what I ended up doing is I went up to Home Depot and I got these little hunks of I believe these are oak. Yeah, oak. Um, hobby board and basically braced everything up. So right here where the neck screws into the body, I put this nice thick hunk of oak here and drilled these holes in. I actually put in little inserts, so threaded inserts into the neck so that I could screw these through and take them out and back on again. But I also put them in with some Loctite so they would stay in there. And then you'll see that this back piece right here is braced by these much thinner pieces that run around the inside. So they're all just glued in. And then I have one final piece of brace right here that I glued in for the saddle. So, and that's just to give that a little bit of support there too. And it's all glued in. And if you've ever done any woodworking, you know that wood glue, once it sets, is stronger than the glue itself. So that this stuff isn't going anywhere, and you can see they're kind of mutually supporting each other to kind of make sure that the box keeps its shape. And I think that's where people go wrong when they make these for themselves, is that they don't pay attention to strengthening up that box so that everything stays in place. And then once you get it tuned, it'll stay there. So a couple other things I wanted to show in here is this little piezo pickup that I have, which is just double-sided tape to the underneath the saddle there. And so that's where I get the electric pickup. I run it into oh my goodness, there's cobwebs and stuff in here. Run that over here to a little variable resistor, the volume control, which again, if I had to do over again, I wouldn't do. And then out this little pickup, which is also my tuner button. So there you go, folks. That's the inside of my cigar box ukulele. It wasn't super complex to do, but just a couple things to note if you want it to be stable and stay in tune, which this one does remarkably well. And again, this was an experiment for me, so nobody was more surprised than myself when it turned out as well as it did. I have some geared tuners. I started out with some friction tuners, which I immediately decided I didn't like, so this is a part two. I'm much happier with these geared tuners. Bone up here and bone up here. Again, those are from mainland ukuleles. The neck and the fretboard, as I said, already came from mainland ukuleles. And I didn't do much to these, so once I got them on here, I really just treated them with boiled linseed oil, like one would do for an axe handle. Isn't that ironic? This is my axe, so I treated it with linseed oil. But boy, it really brought out that mahogany, and it's just beautiful. I love it. The action, as it turned out, again, by complete novice, it's a nice low action. It stays in tune. It's pretty well tuned. It stays good all the way up the neck. The intonation's pretty good. Really just, I'm as surprised as anyone that it turned out as well as it did, and I love playing this ukulele. The thing is it's just not, it's not very loud. It's very quiet, which again is a benefit for me. In the morning, I can come down and I can play the ukulele and not wake up the whole house. So again, this I decided not to glue down just in case I ever needed to get into any of the electronics. So, and then, but I do hold them down. I hold that shut using these little corners here, and it not only looks good, but it serves a purpose. And you can see here where the paper is wearing off from all the love that this ukulele gets. Anyway, let me put this back together, and I'll give you a sound sample. Okay, and we're back. I got it back together. So here we are, everything back together on our old friend, our Don Thomas cigar box ukulele. One more note on the construction here, and then we'll get into hearing what this sounds like. I'll go ahead and plug it in, and then I'll probably give you a sound sample before it's plugged in so you can hear before and after. Not that I have a very fancy setup for plugging these things in, but here we go. So uh, if you decide to build a ukulele on your own, any ukulele, and I believe I got most of the resources on this. I just looked it up online, and when I ordered the neck, I really researched the distance here. So this is a tenor size ukulele. So that I can't remember what the distance is. I want to say it was something like 17 inches or something. But when I made this ukulele, I was very, very, very careful, like measured a bazillion times, and was very, I wanted to make sure that the length between the nut and the saddle here was very, very precise. That's going to affect how your ukulele is tuned and stays in tune. Be as if you spend time doing anything, make sure that this distance is correct for the fretboard that you purchased, right, or made. So that's what I did, and I think if I was to guess about why this one turned out the way it did, because I'm certainly no luthier, but spending that time doing that has made this really a pretty good ukulele to play. Oh, and one more thing I wanted to point out as a feature on this is I have cut out a piece of paper out of an Aquila now got string packaging here on there as just a little decoration for the ukulele. I wish I could say I'd really planned on doing that, but in reality what happened is there was a stamp burned on the bottom of this, and I thought I could sand it off, and that all just didn't go well. So I ended up just using this piece off of the an old string package here to kind of cover up my mistake, and glued it down, and made it work, right? So and honestly, I think it looks pretty good. It gives it a little something there. All right. So let's get into some sounds. Let's make sure I'm in tune. Again, I haven't done anything with tuning here in a while, so right in tune. I really get amazed here at how well this thing will hold its tune. Um, I just pick it up and it's in tune. All right, so there we go. So here is my homemade cigar box ukulele. All right, so that'll be enough of that for now. Let's plug it in and see if we can't get that pickup to sing to us a little bit. Stand by. All right, well, there you go. So again, thank you for watching. Thank you for stopping by and let me ramble on about one of my favorite ukes. Again, not fancy, not super expensive, but I put it together myself I'm actually really proud of how it turned out, and it's really turned out to be a wonderful instrument to play. But again, if you're building one of these for yourself, um, don't expect it to resonate like a normal ukulele. It's going to be quiet, um, but sometimes that's good. And I think this one has a sweet little sound, fairly unique to itself, and it just looks so darn cool. And what a fun project to build, and what a fun thing to play and to show off for people. And thank you for letting me do that. Well, I hope this audio is okay. It started raining here, folks. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Um, Thank you. As always, please like, subscribe, and comment down below. And thank you for stopping by.